Dessert, my favorite part of the meal.
Your dessert?
Carrot cake. I hate carrot cake. Or at least I thought I hated carrot cake until I tried this recipe.
I get it. Carrot cake is an incredibly polarizing dessert. You either love it or you love to hate it. Now, once you try this recipe, you are going to be a carrot cake convert. It's moist, it's got the perfect amount of carrot flavor, and it's got this epic, tangy cream cheese frosting with an adorable decoration on top. All right, let's get to it. We are starting with our dry ingredients and the literal star of the show, carrots. So let's turn this humble root veggie into the ultimate decadent dessert. We're gonna start by peeling the carrots. So I'm just running my peeler down the side, toss those scraps, and then we'll just repeat. And we're aiming for 3 cups of grated carrots. I'm gonna trim off just the thin tips here. It just makes it easier to grate them. And then I'm just gonna grate. And you can go ahead and fast forward through this part because I'm gonna be here for a few minutes. We need 3 cups. So if you wanna give any carrot cake hater the chance to actually like the recipe, go for the small hole on the box grater. Look at this consistency. Okay, 2 cups all-purpose flour. We're gonna aerate the flour first, then we're gonna scoop it into the cup. Level it off. Boom. We're gonna add a cup of regular sugar and then a cup of brown sugar. And the moisture provided by the brown sugar, along with a little bit of that molasses flavor, pairs so perfectly with the shredded carrots here. Good pinch of kosher salt. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Last on the dry front, a good old bunch of ground cinnamon. Carrots and cinnamon go together fantastically, and I just love the kind of warming flavor that this provides to the cake. Give that a good stir. And you can see too, the carrots are starting to get coated by this dry mixture. Now, if you've ever made any sort of loaf cake before, like a blueberry bread or even a cranberry bread, a lot of times recipes will have you toss the fruit with flour before you add it to the batter. And the reason they have you do that is it prevents the fruit itself from sinking to the bottom of the cake. Well, we're doing the exact same thing with our shredded carrots here. All right, that is looking fantastic. Let's set this aside and work on our wet ingredients. Starting off our wet ingredients, I've got 1 stick or 8 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Now, unsalted is the key here. We want to control the salt level. We added salt to our dry ingredients, so we want to keep it out of these wet ones. 4 eggs, a whole ½ cup of sour cream, splash of vanilla extract. Now, for the long anticipated secret ingredient, a whole entire can of crushed pineapple with juice. And give it a good mix. I've got my oven going at 350 degrees, and then I'm gonna show you guys, this is a sheet cake, so it's just a good old 13×9. A lot of times I think there's some intimidation in making a carrot cake. It can be a lot of ingredients or require a lot of large layers, but I love that this is a sheet cake, and that's really, to me, what makes it so approachable. So we've got our dry ingredients here, and then we've got our wet ingredients. And I'm gonna add these right in here, scraping every last little bit, and I can smell that pineapple. It smells so good. Give this a good mix. All right, let's talk about our pan. I've got a good old 13×9 nonstick baking pan, and then you're gonna grease it with cooking spray, and this just makes sure that that batter really springs back from the pan. We'll add our batter. I will say I have done this recipe with some toasted walnuts before, and that is passable, in my opinion. Dustin, are you a carrot cake with nuts guy or no nuts?
With nuts, for sure.
All right, how about raisins?
Absolutely not.
That's right. This is Team No Raisins here at Just a Taste. Pop this into the oven, 350 degrees, 35 to 40 minutes, just until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. Let's go. While the cake's in the oven, let's make my world famous cream cheese frosting with just 4 ingredients. 8 ounces cream cheese. Most important tip, cream cheese and butter have got to be room temperature. Give it a good mix. Now that that's blended, we can add the butter straight into the bowl here. Give it a good mix. Is that not the fluffiest? Does it? Are you getting it? No cream cheese frosting will be this fluffy. You just gotta know these couple tips. Vanilla extract. I like a lot of vanilla extract in mine. We're gonna add our confectioner sugar, AKA powdered sugar. I prefer a tangier frosting, so I go pretty light on the confectioner sugar, about a half cup, but you can just taste the frosting, add a little bit more, and then keep mixing. Okay, set this aside because now we have the most fun part of this entire carrot cake. Let's make our cake decorations. We're gonna use some pre-made chocolate cookies, and then I'm gonna transfer them to just a sealable plastic bag. Zip it up, getting rid of all the air, and just start smashing. Just like that, you've got edible chocolate dirt for the top of our cake. And into that dirt, we need carrots. Now let's talk candy melts. So this is what's gonna form the shape of our edible carrots on top. I've got green candy melts, and then I've got orange candy melts. All you have to do is pop these bowls into the microwave on 30-second increments, stirring between each increment until they're silky smooth and pourable. While the candy melts are melting, here's a quick tip for how to easily transfer anything into a piping bag so that you have two free hands. If you don't have a piping bag, you could just use a Ziploc bag or any other sort of sealable plastic bag. But I'm gonna invert the bag about halfway and then put it in the center of the cup. And then the cup is the holder so that you have two hands free to scrape those melted candy melts directly inside. I have the green candy melts transferred to a bag here, and I'm just gonna snip off the tip. And then we're gonna start by piping the green tops of the carrots on a parchment paper lined baking sheet. You're just looking for essentially those little sprouted green parts. And now for the orange. I also have some orange sanding sugar here. I'm gonna pipe the carrots on top and immediately sprinkle them with the sanding sugar. How cute are these? So they take just about 5 minutes to set, and then I'm gonna use an offset spatula to kind of release them from the baking sheet, and it's time to decorate our cake. So once your cake has completely cooled, trace around the edge just to make sure it's released. Place the cutting board on top, and then give it a good flip. Drum roll, please. Perfection. I'm gonna add the cream cheese frosting here, adding big dollops, and I like to leave about a 1/2 inch border around the edge just so you can see that cake underneath. You have a nice contrast between the dark colored cake and the light frosting. And then I'm gonna use an offset spatula to just spread it around. All right, we have those crushed cookies. All right, so now all we have to do is lay the carrots on top. Sometimes I've stuck them vertically on top as well. You can even sandwich 2 carrots back to back, and then you can make kind of 3D carrots and stick them into the top of the cake, but I also love how it looks just laid flat. It's fun when you can include a carrot in every single slice. So I'll kind of angle a few and basically just do them in rows where I know I'm gonna be cutting the cake. Let's slice into this beauty. Look at that crumb. You can just tell by looking at this, this is one insanely moist carrot cake. I cannot wait to taste this. There's something about the sweetness of the carrots with a little bit of the bitterness of the chocolate. This flavor and texture, and not to mention appearance of this cake, there is no better carrot cake out there. Wow. I guarantee anybody that says they don't like carrot cake will love this cake. And I'm actually even, nyam, 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 nyam.
Actually.